Okay, now let's move to the next speaker. Next speaker is Chiao Wei-Ho. Chiao Wei-Ho is a designer, publisher, educator, and founder of Digital Medicine Lab, an independent research lab focused on speculative design, live code, and critical technology. So his practice has played a significant role in shaping the development of speculative design in Taiwan, contributing to its emergence as a critical approach within contemporary design discourse. In today's talk, he will present the title is a World Modulation Pedagogical Experiment with Speculative Design. So Chiao Wei, please go ahead.
All right. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
All right. And is the presentation on?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right.
Not yet.
Thank you. I'm sorry?
You didn't share yet. Yeah.
Oh, not yet?
I can see your
Oh,
slide.
sorry. My tab is another tab. So okay. I think you are good, but I cannot
Previous
see your
Okay.
slide.
condition is better. So could you go back to the previous condition?
Okay. Is
Yes,
that okay?
Great.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's great. All right. All right. It's a great honor to be invited to this seminar and to share my experiences from the I guess past 7 years of teaching and research with my students. So this is today's agenda. I will keep it brief. Let me start my timer first. So I will have a brief introduction about myself and my practice, and also an overview of my students' research at NTUST, that's National Taiwan University of Science and Technology, and also a simplified version of the methodology I use, and also the challenge encountered along the way, and maybe a brief look at where all this work is going next. Okay, so my name is Chiao Wei Ho. My students and my friend call me Chiao. I run a design studio called Digital Medicine Lab in Taipei, Taiwan, and you are all welcome to visit. Our work spans commercial design, design publishing, design education and research, and especially in speculative design, as well as in creative coding and live coding. Uh, and before my studio, I previously worked at a design consultancy IDEO in Palo Alto and in Shanghai. And more importantly, for today's event, I'm currently a adjunct advisor in design department at NTUST for the 7th year. And following this, I'm gonna introduce 5 undergraduate students speculative design project that I've led over the past 7 years, spanning a range of different kind of themes. And the first one will be dynamic beams. It's a project that explores large machine-like entities as a force of destruction within our modern societies. There are 2 types of dynamic beams, one for the land, the one that's on the screen is for the land dynamic beams, and the other one will for the water or for the sea. Both of the student Inhan and Yitin imagine a world where destruction is necessary for our Earth. In this world, destruction coexists with construction-driven enterprise. So when satellite detects the city are overbuilt or lack sufficient green coverage, intervention becomes necessary. So the satellite will send out a signal to dynamic beings, directing them to the designated location where destruction is used as a means of environmental reconstruction. And the project draw inspirations from the woolly movement in prehistoric times by knocking down the trees with their trunks and trampling the soil. Movement helps rebuild biodiversity. And the second project I'm gonna share is called Walking Bird. It's a project discuss about the fluidity of boundaries between individuals and the nation states, countries. The project immerses us in a world where boundaries could be interchangeable, when you wear the working bird devices. That's the lower right side part. The device features a pointing mechanism where shifts its direction depending on who you encounter along the way. And when two working birds meet, the algorithm will recalculate their combined data and point to a new direction. In a way, it's similar to the phenomena of blur flocking, where individuals collectively seek what they call quote unquote home. And the third project I'm gonna share is called superstitious localization. It investigates what would happen if superstition becomes a social norm embedded in our societies. And the two students, Mingyi and Songxuan, began by investigating local superstitions in Taiwan. I think this is also true in many countries too. For example, in many cultural crowds are considered symbols of bad luck. And black cats are also another common superstition across many cultures. The project seeks to actively apply superstition within a technological society. So you encounter them not only when you enter the temple, but when you enter the subway, when you are waiting for traffic lights. So as a result, superstition becomes a part of everyday life. When you are going out, doing your daily business, you begin to encounter these half animal, half robot-like machine nearby. And this research project reminds us that superstition has been deeply rooted in our culture for thousands and thousands of years. What if those superstitions combined with the newest technology we have? What kind of society we will head into? It could be far more than simple notions of good luck and bad luck, or fairy tale created purely for entertainment. And the fourth project I'm gonna share is Make Biota. Pei Yu is the creator for this project. Pei Yu imagined a world where which people no longer have to go through the entire dating process. That's long and boring, time consuming, and it is made possible by advanced biotechnology like the one shown on the screen. And with so many gadgets around us, the project asks whether there might be a new way to accelerate what is now considered an outdated dating process. And with Make Biota, now you can just do that. Make Biota accurately collects the microbiomes of two individuals and determine whether they are compatible. And also, Perry also asked the question, what if biotechnology becomes so affordable that even fast food chains could manufacture these toys as a high-tech toys for everyone to use? Because all high-tech technology will eventually be absorbed into capitalism and commercialism. And what will that be like for us in the future? And the last project I'm gonna share is Beyond Frequencies. During their thesis research, Ziyan and Yujie both encounter a unique moment in the traditional Taiwanese funeral ritual. On the seventh days of the ceremony, butterflies is said to appear, a moment that, according to the local folklore, signifies the return of the deceased for a final visit. And it is also the only joyful moment throughout the entire funeral process. And they began to investigating the kind of frequencies that attract insects and design a series of apparatus based on this research. Their goal was to recreate this magical moment and reinsert it into the funeral ritual. They also imagined a new kind of funeral band built around their instruments. It's somewhat like a cartoon where animal can be summoned through a musical instrument. When you play instruments, and animal will come. And the beauty of this project lies in its folk tale and the ambiguous world it constructs, one that cannot be proven or denied. No one can prove is it a fake one or is it a fictional one, or maybe eventually it will become true. It's the kind of precisely this kind of highly imaginative work that once released into the world may one day be proven, realized, and brought into existence by others. And followed by those five projects, I'm going to talk briefly about a simplified version of my framework to how I led students to design all these projects. And the first one is word entry. We started from words, not from not by problems. A lot of time, there are a lot of design educators here. We know traditional design education teach designers or students to solve problems. And from my class or from my practice, I ask students to envision or imagine what kind of words they want to be in. And this phase is where students open the doorway into a fictional or unreal world. In the case of superstitious localization project, this doorway leads to a world where in which people coexist with superstition within a technological society. And this phase often takes a lot of time, as it is extremely difficult for designers to allow themselves to be unrealistic about what they want to design. They often struggle to persuade themselves that the scenarios they propose can still be belong to the category of quote unquote design. And the second phase is war immersion. This is the phase designers staying with the uncertainty, borrowing ideas from the unknown, looking for the unconventional ideas. And because it's a fictional world, everything is possible. And this is where the magic happens. The graphic on the screen is a sketch by my current students, Zhongwei and Kailin. Their project focuses on detecting vague political languages in order to anticipate where war or military exercise might occur and how such signals could alert animals living in those areas. They struggled for a long time to design a learning artifact. They did not want it to be a machine nor a bioengineered creature. And through countless drawing and explorations, we eventually arrive at this ghost-like, cape-shaped form. Everyone knows what a ghost is, yet no one truly knows what that actually is. And this ambiguity makes the ghost a perfect invention and a compelling source of design inspiration for this project. And the third phase is the word modulation, where designers use design as intervention. And in the case of previously mentioned project, they are the artifacts student design. For example, the working bird device worn on the mouse. And once the artifact is produced, it generates all kind of scenarios, possibilities, and inspirations, eventually giving rise to another world, one that is distinctly different from the world we live in. And this work could then be superimposed onto our own, allowing us to search for reflections and parallels. And in terms of briefly touch on the limitation and reflection, I definitely think the educational system nowadays has huge problem. Um, to me, school systems often seem to design to serve the needs for corporations and governments rather than for individual students. I wonder if there might be a middle ground between the traditional educational system and online schooling. Perhaps it could be a kind of self-direct learning system. The kind that imagination is actively embraced. The last part of my talk is where could all these go? I superimpose all my students' work onto this globe, and because it's striking that we belong to a discipline that center on creation, but we rarely teach students how to imagine. And we hesitated to embrace unreal. When you talk about design, it's something that you can sell. Um, Fictional design, it doesn't seem to fall into the category of quote unquote design. And I'm deeply drawn into Nietzsche's idea about no artist can tolerate realities. Therefore, we must create. And to create things that's magical, to create things that's speculative, ambiguous, and world alarming. And I hope this world is full of imaginative creations, and that imagination is allowed to shape where how we live. All right. Thank you. That's round time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So now let's move to the question and time. So are there any question, comment from the audience? If we have any question, comments, please write in the chat too. Yes. Eva, do you have anything to comment?
Yeah, thanks for, yeah, wow, really provoking presentation and outcome.
Thank you.
Then, yeah, I know you recently translated the Dan Levy's new book, Not Here, Not Now. Then, like, I think
Yeah.
really this, like, attitude of seeking unreal, it's really infused in your curriculum, I think. So yeah, I think some like comments Luis commented in the Nadia's presentation as well. So this type of education is really new and not all universities or not many other education cannot do that, cannot apply yet. So I'd like to ask how you persuade stakeholders. Like some people is really skeptical about this type of works and why we need this, why need to be provocative, stuff like that. So do you have any like tips on that?
Well, I don't think I have. Well, I can persuade stakeholders. But I think eventually people will arrive at the conclusion that every discipline, every profession really needs imagination because look at our world right now. It's stocked. And I think the only things we need is imaginations from all discipline for politicians, for our economic, for war, for anything. So I think our educational system is not catching up. That's a shame, but eventually it will. Yeah.
Yeah, like your like a tangible outcome is really powerful, I think. Like a lot of philosophical word or text, this like a words like a verbal like a fight is not meaningful for their education, but like a speculative object is really powerful to change people's mindset. So
Right. I think the tangible artifact. We are creating something that's unreal, but we are using real things, real artifacts, and place that into our real world. I think that has certain powerful effects to manipulate the current status quo. So that's super important. Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Thank you. So there are one more person raise their hand. So Kenju, do you wanna have a question?
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Weiho, for the talk. I love fantastical element and mythical stuff. So, my question, just out of curiosity, is that when you approach superstition stories and mythical stories, do you approach it more from like a cautionary moral stories, or do you approach it more from like a hopeful, hopeful new kind of stories for a new generation? Just curious about that.
Well, so a lot of time we borrow inspirations from fairy tales, from cartoon, all kinds of fictional resources. And I think one of the main point is because we other disciplines simply don't do that because they think that as a entertainment media. But there are a lot of wisdoms and there are a lot of amazing design elements in all these thousands and thousands years old stories. So we often borrow a lot of inspiration from these resources and combine that with the modern, maybe modern technology, depends on the theme, uh, and then produce artifact out of those two mixes and see what happens. So yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So
thanks.
now let's give a big hand to him.